Question 16, and we are solving and simplifying equation-y things, algebra, as it's called, okay? So, first equation we've got to solve is 3x minus 1 over 5 equals x minus 2. Alright, I don't like fractions, and so I'm going to have to get rid of that, so I'm going to move that 5 across to the other side. I'm allowed to do that because it is dividing everything on the left-hand side, so it means that's the first thing you want to move across to the right. So that means on the right-hand side, I'm left with 3x minus 1. The 5 goes over, and it is times and everything on that other side, so make sure you put the other side in brackets. Get rid of your brackets. So I've got 3x minus 1 is equal to 5 times x is 5x. 5 times minus 2 is minus 10. Okay, I'm going to collect the x's to one side and the numbers to the other. Generally speaking, you want to collect the x's to the side where there's more of them, and there's more x's on the right-hand side. So that means x's to the right, numbers to the left. Okay, so on the left-hand side, I've got the minus 1 that's not gone anywhere. I've got the minus 10 that comes across and becomes a plus 10. On the right-hand side, I've got the 5x that hasn't gone anywhere. The 3x goes over, and because there's an invisible plus sign in front of the 3x, it becomes a minus on the other side. So I've got that. Okay, minus 1 plus 10 is 9. 5x minus 3x is 2x. So then divide to finish. 9 divided by 2 is x. Or you can write 4.5. Either of those will get you the marks, 9 over 2 or 4.5. Okay, next one. I have got a5 over a9 all to the power of minus 2. Okay, this is testing your indices laws. First step is do the dividing bit. And remember, if you're dividing, it means you have to subtract the powers. So 5 take away 9 means that inside the brackets, you've actually got a to the minus 4 all to the minus 2. So subtract, you take away the powers. This one here now, if you've got brackets, you need to multiply the powers. So minus 4 times by minus 2 gives you a to the power 8. So that is your final answer. And lastly, express as a single fraction in its simplest form, this thing here. Alright, to get things in a single fraction, we need to get a common denominator so that we can squish them together like that, okay? Now the common denominator, if you think of something like, and I'll just write at the bottom here, a half plus a third, you get a common denominator of 6, and you can always get a common denominator by doing 2 times 3. It might not necessarily be always the smallest one. If you thought of something like a 4 plus a 6, you can use you can do 4 times 6, which is 24, which works, but 12 is an easier one. So it might not necessarily give you the lowest common denominator, but timesing them together will always give you a common denominator. Alright, so common denominator is going to be, sorry, I shouldn't have written that one there, get rid of that, is going to be the two bottom bits times together, so x minus 2, x, is that a minus 1 or a plus 1? It's a plus 1, x plus 1, minus the other fraction, so again, common denominator, x minus 2, x plus 1, okay? And let's say we've just gotten that from timesing the two denominators together. Alright, we then need to compare this red fraction, okay, to this fraction underlined here, okay? At the minute, we've got the x minus 2 on the bottom, okay, and I'm going to stick the 4 in the top from there, okay? But then if we look at the bottom, it's gone from x minus 2 to x minus 2 times x plus 1. So the difference is we've times the bottom by x plus 1, so it also means we have to times the top by x plus 1. Okay, and if we were to do the opposite, if it were to cancel out, you could see that you would be left with the 4 and the over x minus 2. Do the same thing with the green fraction. Originally on the bottom, I just had x plus 1. I've now got x minus 2 times x plus 1. So that means I have to times the top by x minus 2, and I get given that there. Alright, so that's, now we're ready to squish them together because they've got a common denominator. So that means on the bottom, the denominator is going to stay the same. I've got x minus 2, x plus 1. And on the top, I've got 4, x plus 1, minus 5, x minus 2. Okay? Alright, I can simplify the top a bit further because I can times out the brackets. So if I times out the bracket, I'm going to get 4x plus 4 minus 5x plus 10, because it's a minus times a minus, all over the same denominator I had before, x minus 2, x plus 1. And last job, just simplify those. 4x minus 5x gives me minus x, and 4 plus 10 gives me 14, and that is all over this x minus 2, x plus 1. And that is your answer.